Jarvis, make her 4 feet tall with a fighting attitude, please.
I grew up with the MCU, and I love it to death. And while there's been some ups and downs over the years, the impact this franchise has had on so many people has been insane. But even at its peak, there was so much wasted potential. When you picture the Avengers, who are the first heroes you picture? Iron Man? Captain America? What about these two?
It's me.
Ant-Man and the Wasp are founding members of the Avengers. And for some reason, they decided to make them retired heroes in the MCU? That's like if Hal Jordan was double the age of Jon Stewart.
This ring.
This is crazy because the Wasp is the heart of the Avengers in a way. Like how the Flash is to the Justice League, you know? The younger character that adds some immaturity to the teams.
So we'll need to split into teams. Kids on the Amazon.
Level the billionaire playboy, super soldier veteran, depressed scientist, god of thunder, Russian spy, and Hawkeye to the reality of what it means and feels to be a regular human being. Without her, they're probably more bound to fight and
Let's kick his ass.
maybe that's why the Avengers split up, because they didn't have Janet to keep them together. Now Hank Pym is one of the most interesting characters in Marvel. He even makes Ultron and there's some other evil stuff, but his impact and importance to the Avengers is huge. He's one of the core members of the Avengers, and I can go on and on about how core this guy is to the Avengers, but then we'd fall into the rabbit hole of the fact we didn't have the X-Men, Fantastic Four, or Spider-Man in the start of the MCU. And you know, after getting into comics over the last few years, the tragedy of those best ideas are even more tragic. There were even plans to have a Black Panther movie in Phase 1, but the CEO at the time, Ike Perlmutter, the Chud Master, basically said to Feige and his friends that a movie with a black lead wouldn't do well. Even a Black Widow movie was planned this far back, but Chud Master didn't think anybody would buy toys of girl characters, that he'd rather have an action figure of a beefy, sexy, chiseled, shirtless Chris Evans.
Kiss me.
What?
Public displays of affection make people very uncomfortable.
Yes, they do.
You still uncomfortable?
Ah, it was jealousy, wasn't it, Ike? Shame. A Black Widow and a Hawkeye team-up movie in Phase 1 would have been amazing. Maybe we would have found out what happened in Budapest.
Just like Budapest all over again.
You and I remember Budapest very differently.
On the topic of Hawkeye, the MCU version of him makes me sad. Hawkeye has a very specific charm and personality that makes him one of the more memorable members of the Avengers. In a way, that funny, loudmouth, arrogant, brash personality makes up for the goofy costume and arrows. In the MCU, he's turned into more of a tough spy with a cool bow, and at times shows off the personality from the comics. It makes me sad because, well, this version of Hawkeye still slaps, man. It's a good version of Hawkeye. I personally really love the show, and I like this take on Hawkeye. But I know Jeremy Renner can pull off the colorful personality of the comics variant, so it always struck me as odd why they never really let him. It doesn't help that Joss Whedon admitted to not knowing what to do with Hawkeye in Avengers, so he just put him under mind control for half the movie. I grew up loving Iron Man, watched his trilogy so many times, and went through the stages of grief seeing him die in Endgame. But man, if we're talking tragedies, we have to talk about the Iron Man trilogy. Personally, I love all three movies. Of course, the first movie is just straight peak, but the other two are fun watches and have a lot of great moments.
You know, the question I get asked most often is, Tony, how do you go to the bathroom in the suit? Just like that.
Sorry. Suit.
My diagnosis is that you've experienced a severe anxiety attack.
Me?
But compared to the other sequels, like Winter Soldier and, no, Dark World, it just wasn't on the same level, despite Tony being the main character of the MCU. When the first Iron Man movie was being made, it was during the post-Civil War era, where, spoilers, Tony becomes kind of a villain. It's probably the reason they chose this character to start the MCU, since Iron Man would have been one of the most talked about Marvel heroes at the time. Now, his arc, all of this is never adapted, but that's for the better in my opinion. I don't think it would have worked as well with the direction they went with in the MCU. It is odd to me though that his best moments are in the other movies and only his first movie.
Are you yawning?
Now, one of the weakest parts of the Iron Man movies are the villains. Now, I'm not too versed on his rogues. I know some niche picks like Madame Mask, but in all seriousness, Iron Man has a genuinely interesting rogues gallery like Crimson Dynamo, Living Laser, Ghost. Wait. So not only did they fumble Hank and Janet, but they used one of Iron Man's rogues for Ant-Man. It really is a shame that the Iron Man VR game has better villains than his movies.
You were stitched together from a white flag.
Gunsmith, stop it.
Maybe. But I know what's right and what's wrong.
What's right is winning. What's wrong is you.
Hey!
That's it. I'm out. I want no part of this.
I wish the VR game wasn't a VR game. It has a pretty good story, and Josh Keaton is Tony Stark too.
Clearly, you don't own an air fryer.
Now, instead of the cool villains like the ones I just named, we got Whiplash, Aldrich Killian, and the fake Mandarin, Iron Man's main nemesis. The Mandarin never really appeared in his trilogy. Imagine if we got the real Mandarin and the real Ten Rings from Shang-Chi to fight Iron Man. The most we can do is imagine, since...
Mr. Stark?
Who's that random kid? He reminds me a lot of... So yeah, in Amazing Spider-Man, Sony had plans to add Avengers Tower to the New York City skyline. But unfortunately, the people in charge of the MCU made the decision to watch the movies.
The human DNA that I implanted in the spiders was my own.
Jokes aside, I don't mind those two movies that much. They're fun for the most part. The CGI and aesthetic are the visual definition of Spider-Man, and the acting is incredible. But especially when they came out, the general consensus was that they were buns. So this never panned out. And honestly, this isn't much of a tragedy to me, since I really love Tom Holland as Spider-Man just as much as the other two.
That came out of you.
Yeah.
You can't do that, huh?
No? How on earth does that even...
Anyway,
Now, jumping ahead a bit, Ms. Marvel is one of the few new superheroes that actually took off. Operating in New Jersey, she has the ability to shrink, grow, and stretch her body. Can you imagine what that looked like in the MCU? Seriously, Iman Vellani is perfect as Kamala, pairing her incredible performance with the comic-accurate, zany, goofy abilities of Ms. Marvel is a match made in heaven. Yet she's basically just a lantern in the MCU with the light constructs and all. I was hoping to see her somehow get her real powers in the Marvels, but like with the rest of that movie, I was disappointed. Maybe we'll see it in Doomsday. A man can only dream. Now, Doctor Strange 2 was planned to be a lot closer to the comics, even utilizing one of his really cool rogues, Nightmare, who, by the way, cameos in WandaVision. But Feige decided to do a cool multiverse cameo fest instead, and I'll be honest, I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, but that original idea with Nightmare sounded like a much better, actual movie, instead of what we ended up getting. And Feige was also behind the idea of turning Kamala into a lantern, so, no man is perfect. Feige still leaks better than the Chud Master, though. But of all the wasted tragedies, Secret Invasion, by far, is not brought up enough. The fact that people have the audacity to say She-Hulk is the worst MCU show when the steaming pile of hot garbage is right there is blasphemy at this point. The comic that it's based on is really cool too, so the fact that they didn't even try to adapt it at all is just hilarious. I mean, even the peak show Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, not only adapts it, but in my opinion, improves upon it.
Can't possibly think you can beat me. We're the same. I have your strength, your skill. I know every thought you have. There's more to human beings than our bodies and minds. Something you'll never understand. Our spirit! We never surrender!
Really, this should have been adapted early on. And looking back, it's crazy we got Infinity War as early as we did. In the comics, Secret Invasion is a huge event that was super hyped up. It serves as the bookend and finale to the Iron Man villain arc, since Tony's failure to lead and his pride is part of the reason the Skrulls were able to infiltrate Earth. He was humbled. It's a shame the show even had an insanely talented cast with Emilia Clarke, Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, and Colby Smulders as the Maria Hill, who died in the first episode. On the topic of tragic wastes of potential, it's impossible to not talk about the one, the only. Compare this scene.
These are confusing times.
Right. No, that's not what I meant.
No, I get it. I'm kidding. I know, it's crazy. I'm wearing shirts now.
Yeah.
To this.
Chicken soup. Take care of him.
You could help.
What do you want?
You could make a difference. You could save Thor, just like you saved Samson in the cube.
Funny. I don't remember Thor ever coming to save me.
If you help, it will help us. If you stand by other heroes, if you save lives, people will begin to see that the Hulk isn't a monster, that you can be a force for good.
If I do this, then you do something for me.
What?
I stay. I stay the Hulk, not Banner.
From a kid's cartoon, by the way. The saddest part is that they know how to make Hulk the way he's supposed to be. People often credit the 2008 movie, and fair enough. But personally, I think the 2012 Avengers is a near perfect depiction of Hulk, and by MCU standards, the best. It's a shame because it's like they actively hate Hulk. It's like there's the deleted scene from Infinity War where Bruce talks to Hulk and like they merge. They even had Funko Pops of it. Hulk is a complex character himself. An emo monster who acts like one because that's what everyone sees him as. But when characters like Captain America, Black Widow, or even Wasp treat him like a real person, well, you can see that the Hulk is a hero, choosing to protect the people who fear and want to control him. Stop. Bruce Banner himself is also a great character, cursed and burdened with handling the Hulk, but willing to work with him and with anyone to help the world. He carries on being a hero despite his circumstances. Hulk isn't a part of the big three just because he's cool, big, and scary, but because there's so much complex emotional depth to both sides of the coin. Meanwhile, in Endgame, Bruce basically erases him from existence by merging, so...
I see this as an absolute win.
Spider-Man has an iconic rogues gallery and mythos that spans so many years. It's a real shame things like Oscorp are locked in Sony's basement, and, same goes for the MCU in its early phases when it came to the X-Men. People like Feige started out on X-Men and fell in love with Marvel through that. So imagine a world where, from the beginning, the MCU had the rights to all of Marvel. How much more huge Endgame would have been. I mean, you're telling me nothing was stopping Feige from putting the Defenders in Endgame? I mean, they probably would have died, let's be honest, but it would have been so cool and make the MCU feel so much bigger than it already was and is. I don't know. If you couldn't tell by now, I am extremely biased to those guys.
Mahal Kakayo. See the camera. See how I said that?
Mahal Kakayo.
Mahal Kakayo. Slay.
Mahal. Say it again.
Mahal Kakayo.
Of course, I've played up the harshness for the video. I love Endgame. I love all of the MCU.
I'm such a dick.
It's never too late to stop being a dick.
Most of the MCU. A lot of these missed opportunities have explanations. In the end, despite the fumbles of the MCU, it's become the reason many of us, including me, fell in love with superheroes. Your memories made of loving and dogging on it with friends and family will forever stick with me. The reports and interviews about Doomsday talking about the cast is huge and it was fun and this has never been done before, instead of saying how well made the story is, really does make me worried. And for a while, it just seemed to me that they just put on costumes, threw them on green screens, and let them play heroes like they're kids in a school playground, making it up as they go. And in all the fear, hate, and criticism, I forget for a moment about the people putting actual, passion into all of it. You know, a screenwriter staying up late at night at Marvel Studios, knowing full well what he wrote down isn't his best work. The VFX artists scrambling to make the deadline. The editors being given hundreds of notes every single second. Among all of that stress and tension lies, at the very least, one person. One person who wants to make something good, who grew up reading comics or watching cartoons, and wants to bring to life the magic they felt as a kid. And you know, that's what makes movies and stories so magical when they're actually good. It's not just a story anymore. It's a symphony of passion, where every single person gave their all and poured out their souls just to bring a story to life. Something that unites people together to immerse themselves and escape from our real world. There's magic in being able to feel real emotions when you immerse yourself in a fictional story. Because at the end of the day, nothing about it is technically real. When we watch movies or shows, you're looking at actors pretending to be someone else, in sets designed to look like somewhere else. In books, we're simply reading words printed onto paper. Yet, we feel inspired, terrified, delighted, super sad. I mean, these are very real feelings. Feelings that unite us, that resonate with us. And because of that, we turn to these stories as an escape from the real world, to be home away from home. The MCU may not be as peak as it once was, but you know, at least there's always a brand new day.
You know, it's funny, putting the suit on, it feels different this time, somehow.
Okay, that was pretty corny, but I hope the sentiment still stands. Thanks for watching until the end. Stories like these have been such a great escape, and you know, I made this channel to express my love and passion for this stuff, so your support is heavily appreciated. I want to build a community who shares the same love and passion, so thank you. Truly, you don't understand how much it means to me that you watched this whole video. So please subscribe and support me.